just discussing you hit a bird out there.
Yeah, it was still stuck in my car.
When you came in?
Yeah, yeah, it didn't look great.
Did you say a little goodbye to it?
Well, I
it's
felt,
done.
I'm also feeling sorry for the mechanic having to remove it, but yeah.
Well, I'm sure the win and the 100th win for the team will ease that a little bit for them. What a fantastic race today, although you've described it as really difficult. So tell us why you feel that way.
Yeah, I think today was tricky because of the cold temperatures, and we couldn't really get the tire, like the tires to work. They were always too cold. We know that, we all know that our strength in the car is normally the tire deck. So I think naturally cars that are a bit heavier on the tires actually probably worked a bit better for them today. So it's difficult to say, how the others were performing, because I think from our side it was probably not at 100%, but to win by 9 seconds, I think it still shows that we have a great car.
Yes, I mean, it was 9 seconds today. I say only 9 seconds. That's still a fantastic gap. Was there more there, or were you pushing really hard today and that's the maximum for the car?
It was just management, knowing when to push. Sometimes you didn't feel the grip that was there, and then you can't, push at 100%, but yeah, that happens.
You sounded so relaxed, even when you went over the curb, nearly knocked yourself out, but you were laughing the whole time. This must be such a dream of a car to drive, though.
Yeah.
Degradation aside.
Yeah, of course. I mean, the car from the start has been really, really quick. But besides that, it's been quite nice to work with. It's not like there are mysteries in the car, and sometimes very hard to find a direction, and that helps a lot every weekend.
Have you got any concerns going forward? I mean, Austria, home race, you've been pretty dominant there in the past.
No concerns for the moment, but you see, like, people are pushing. Other teams are pushing. They're bringing a lot of updates. And clearly also this weekend, Aston Martin, they made a step forward for sure. But we're still ahead. But yeah, we have to keep working from our side. But I don't need to say that. We know that. We are working on it, and things are coming.
Congratulations. You've matched Senna's wins today as well. I'm sure that does mean something to you, but it doesn't feel like it's going to be your last, that's for
sure. I hate to compare also generations. Of course we are on the same wins, but from my side, I just look at it that, I was a little kid driving in go-karts. My dream was being a Formula 1 driver, and I would have never imagined to be on the 41 wins. So it's definitely a great achievement.
100 wins for your team, a magnificent moment, and a 41st win for Max. So this is a moment in history for Red Bull.
No, absolutely. I mean, to get a century of victories, for the whole team is an incredible achievement, and not just here, but for all the people, all the men and women. Back in the team that put in all the long hours. 100 races is a lot, but 100 wins, that's 27% of all the races that we've entered, we've won. Is an incredible statistic.
And 41% of them from one man.
Yeah. I mean, Max has just been sensational this weekend. It was a tricky race for him today because the tire temperature, I think, for all the guys was tough out there because it was quite cool and the tires weren't in a happy window. But wow, I mean, Alex as well. Congrats to him. I ended up watching as much of his race as our race. He seemed to have half the field behind him.
Yeah. Well, congratulations. You guys have just been dominating race after race. So be honest, like, what is the goal to win all the races? Do you feel like that's a reasonable expectation level?
Well, look, we just take things one race at a time, and I don't think you let your mind, drift too far into the future. So many things can go wrong.
But can you? Do you feel like you really can?
Can we? Yes. Will we? Who knows? And because there's so many variables in this game, and we just take things, one race at a time, and the team are doing an incredible job. Max is driving out of his skin as well at the moment. So just collectively, I think the group are doing a tremendous job.
Congratulations. Obviously, we're only 9 races in, but you've won them all. And it looks like you're going to win many more, as Danica just said. Sometimes you might think about already looking towards next year's car and not bringing so many updates. But with the cost cap, it's more tricky, right? Because you can't just go and spend lots of money on next year's car. So do you keep developing through this year into next year, or how does it work?
Well, it's finding that balance, and because obviously we have a lot less wind tunnel time, we have to apply that. We have to start thinking a lot about next year. So you're spinning a couple of plates at the moment, but with the regulations being stable, whatever you learn this year, you carry into next year as well. So of course there are things that we'll still keep bringing to this year's car, but a lot of the focus now back in the factory is already on next year.
Adrian, I believe this is your 200th Grand Prix victory, which somewhat dwarfs Max's achievement of equaling Senna this weekend. But still, listen, it's been an amazing journey since Mexico '91. How special is it getting to 200?
It's really special. It's this would have been my first here in 1991, and then Nigel obviously was doing that and forgot to change down.
Were you worried about Max waving to the crowd today?
No, I think Max was on it. You know, he's. I think they've all learned from that you can never, until you've crossed the line, you can't count it. But no, I mean it's really been an amazing journey. My dream always from a kid was to be an engineer in motor racing, and so that kind of, when I got my first job in motor racing and got my first salary, that was really like the big moment. Everything else has been a bonus.
Do you ever sit back and reflect on, picking, I don't know, you've won 200 of them, so it's probably hard to pick one, but have you got a top 5? I mean, where do the recent ones rank in that?
Well, I mean, they're obviously all special. I think the ones that, of course, stand out, the first one, which is to say Mexico, and then the ones where the championship's gone down to the wire, which isn't a particular, you can argue is, that's the end of the championship, because of course it's that race. So very often Abu Dhabi with Sebastian against Fernando, and then obviously Max against Lewis.
And listen, you spent time winning races at Williams and McLaren. There was a sneaky one with Toro Rosso, I guess, which you count as one of yours. But 100 wins for Red Bull that you've overseen, really. I mean, where are you going to go with this? Are you going to keep going till Red Bull get to 200, you get to 300? Where does the Newey journey end?
I mean, as I said, I'm lucky enough to be doing what I've always wanted to do. Enjoy the job. Loved it. Yeah, of course, my career can't go on forever. So I think, as long as the team wants me and I keep enjoying it, and I'll keep going. But that's got to be realistically, it's on a countdown. Exactly when that day is, I don't know.